I know that some people are impatient, especially probably the person who sent this text. I am going to read to you a text that we got recently, my wife got from a friend of ours, and I'm using it to talk about the ethics of voting for Donald Trump. Here's the question. Can you explain to me how voting Trump does not contradict my core principles of pro-life, pro-gun, anti-tax, anti-cronyism, pro-religious liberty, pro-military, not pro-war, pro-civil rights, and pro-equality for all races and both genders? Make the sales pitch, but know that I need evidence, facts, and logic. Hillary being bad isn't enough. Convince me that Trump isn't bad too. By the way, Hillary, bad. Trump, we talk about this today, but Hillary, bad. Don't vote for Hillary under any circumstances. This is a woman who professes, I will continue to slaughter innocent babies. She uses other code language, I'm pro-choice and we'll defend women's rights, blah, blah, blah. She's got blood dripping from her hands, okay? Well, Donald Trump used to say he was pro-abortion. He's got blood on his hands. That is an excellent point. And so let's begin looking at this question. Do you know the name Dr. Bernard Nathanson? Dr. Bernard Nathanson, God rest his soul, he came to Christ. He died a Christian death. He used to be an abortionist. He killed personally oversaw the murder of 80,000 babies in New York City. He was a founding member of the National Association for the Repeal of Abortion Laws, which then became NARAL, the National Abortion Rights Action League. He was a baby killer. He got arrested with us in New York City, defending babies. I used to visit with him. A bit was in his home. God rest his soul. And he said, or rather, I'm sorry, he repented. He had blood on his hands. Okay? He actually aborted his own child, if my memory is correct in the record. I mean, I can't even conceive of him doing that. But he repented. And the blood of Jesus washed the blood off of Dr. Nathanson's hands. So the question is, has Donald Trump really repented? That is the question. The first time that I heard Trump give his pro-life credentials, all I could think of was Mitt Romney. Did you ever hear Mitt Romney's story? It was almost identical to Trump's. About some friend, and I thought about it, and then I thought, oh, this is a baby. And Trump talks about some friend who was tempted to kill his child and then had the child and loves the child, and it had a deep impact on Trump's psyche, on his thinking. Then he realized this is a baby. I thought, man, that's pretty shallow. I did. I really did. But I gave it some time, and then Trump kept saying, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life. And then Trump said, I'll defund Planned Parenthood. Then Trump threw Planned Parenthood a bone. I watched it all, people, and I thought, because a lot of Republican pro-abortion women, and they're out there, especially at the big money level, they were saying to Trump, Planned Parenthood does good things. They give pap smears. They help women get birth control. There are a lot. This is one of the dirty little secrets, okay? There are a lot of Christian women who don't kill their babies who go to Planned Parenthood for various services. It's unthinkable to me, but I know it happens. I know it happens. So Trump stepped back and said, well, Planned Parenthood does some good things. And part of me wanted to say, don't say that. And then I thought, you know what? He's just throwing a bone. Because he said, as long as they're killing babies, he'll defund them. And then two other things happened that really sealed the deal for me. I'm just telling you because it's a valid question. How can I vote for Trump and know that I'm not contradicting my core principles? And the first thing he mentioned, and I'm going to go through every one of them on this show, every one of them. But he started off saying pro-life. Well, I went to the Trump rally that was here, and before Trump spoke, they had a black preacher, and that matters because the cadence, all right, he was from South Carolina, I think, and he stood up there and he gave one of the most intense pro-life sermons. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is pro-life. He has had a conversion, and when he is president, he is not going to allow the murder of God's babies. Are you hearing me? He is going to make it a crime to kill God's babies by abortion. This is at a political rally, all right? The only time I've heard political speeches like that about pro-life are at my rallies or at rallies of friends of mine that I'm supporting and working with. I was flabbergasted. I thought, okay, Trump staff is in the room. They know he's saying this. They know that reporters are everywhere. So either Trump is absolutely, positively gone the extra mile to seduce pro-lifers like me, or he said, you know what? I really do believe this now. Let him go ahead. Let the Christian people know that I've had a change of heart. And he talked about Trump having some type of a conversion as well. And frankly, friends, I have to take that, the word, I can be suspicious about it. Any of you who've dealt with people who have said they've had a conversion, people who have, stopped an addiction to some chemical, and then they come and they say, I'm really sorry. You say, I'm glad that you're not addicted to this chemical. I'm glad that you're really sorry, but I want to watch. I'm going to watch for a while. I get that. But what else can we do? In other words, if he's repented, even if he doesn't use those words, if he has had a conversion, even if he doesn't use those words, then it's certainly a safer bet for pro-life than it is for Hillary. And there's the fourth thing. When he was asked by Chris Matthews, should women have a punishment if child killing is made illegal again? He said, yes, there should be some punishment. And that's the right answer. Rick Santorum didn't give that answer. I've never heard Santorum say that. All right, and he's Mr. Pro-Life. You go down the list of so-called pro-life candidates that ran for president, and Trump was the only one that was A, logical, and B, had the courage to say it. Now, he walked it back a little bit, but when child killing is made illegal again, there has to be a punishment of the child killer. You have to have punishment for a back alley abortionist. He's got to face severe criminal penalties. But a woman who knowingly takes her baby to this butcher to have the baby's head cut off, is she guiltless? She's supposed to face nothing? No. She has to face something, because the fear of punishment is what makes us all obey the law. Most of us would speed recklessly in our car driving if we weren't afraid of what? Getting a ticket. And on the second or third ticket, we lose our license. If we keep doing it, we go to jail. There's people watching right now that would commit heinous crimes, all right? Maybe low-level crimes like theft, maybe big crimes like killing someone to get even. And we don't commit these crimes. Why? Because fear of punishment. And there are women who will not kill their baby if they get pregnant. Once abortion is made illegal, they will not kill their baby because they don't want to get arrested. They don't want to go clink, clink in cuffs, have their picture in the paper, stand before a judge, even if they're only going to pay a $100 fine and spend a night in jail. They don't want that. They're going to have their baby, most of them will, because of the fear of the consequences of killing their baby. One more thing, and I know this segment is long, but I want to just focus on child killing. I ended with yesterday's show with this, but I want to say it again. Child killing is the worst crime that America is allowing to be committed. The blood of these babies is crying for vengeance. God hears the blood. If we're going to be saved as a nation and not be obliterated by the judgment of God, we've got to stop the child killing. If you roll back to ancient Israel, King Josiah ended child killing in Judah. And the Lord still judged Judah, but then he restored them. He sent them to the Babylonian captivity, then they came back, they rebuilt the temple, and then they were a nation again. The northern 10 tribes of Israel, they were obliterated. Just obliterated, never heard from again. Just scattered. So America is either going to be judged by God and scattered, obliterated, broken up. I can't even picture what it would be. Or we're going to go under some kind of judgment, but then be restored. And it will hinge on what we do with the babies. And so the southern border, my friends, could be what makes or breaks it. Oh, Randall, this is complicated. Yeah, I told you it wasn't easy. Listen. Every poll, every bit of data shows that the illegal immigrants coming over the border from the south, if they are given amnesty, if they are made voters, they will become Democrats. The vast majority will become Democrats. They will sustain Democrats in the White House. That means that Democrat presidents who are baby killers will appoint Supreme Court judges who will therefore sustain Roe versus Wade and keep the churning of the innocent blood. They will keep murdering babies. So stopping the influx of immigrants from the southern border could keep those 10 million people from becoming Democrats, which means that Republicans, pro-life Republicans, could win the White House and could appoint pro-life judges. Well, it's a stretch, Randall. Yeah, I know. I voted for Ronald Reagan, my favorite president in my lifetime. One of my sons is named after Reagan. And Reagan gave us who? Sandra Day O'Connor, Anton Scalia, and Anthony Kennedy. Sandra Day O'Connor turned out to betray the president and sustain Roe versus Wade. Anthony Kennedy has turned out to be like Lucifer in the flesh, to quote John Boehner about Ted Cruz. Anthony Kennedy has become one of the most sick, perverse men to ever sit on the Supreme Court. And he's a Catholic. And when he was brought into the court, they were told he's going to be pro-life. It's okay. We were betrayed. Reagan was betrayed. But I would still pick Reagan over Carter or Mondale. Because Reagan tried. Are you getting it? So Trump said, I'm going to pick judges like Anton Scalia. So if pro-life really is the most important thing to you, Donald Trump has said he's pro-life. He said it should be a crime to murder babies. He said he'll defund Planned Parenthood. He said that he's had a change of heart, a conversion, and he's going to build a wall which could save the Republican Party from political exile, political oblivion. If that's not enough reason to pick Trump over Hillary just on the pro-life issue, then, to quote a famous actor, Mike Myers, I see that there is no pleasing you.